This video is for anyone that's selling on Etsy that's thinking about quitting. I don't care if you've been selling on Etsy for 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years. If you're frustrated with Etsy because you're not making any sales, this video is for you. What I'm going to do is take you throughout my day, and then we're going to talk about some things that you can do right now. Not theory, some concrete things that you can go do in your Etsy shop to start seeing some more sales. My name is Shantalise, and I've been selling on Etsy for about 5 years now, and I have tried all the strategies. The first thing I want to say is all Etsy advice is not the same. It really depends on what you're selling on Etsy. Someone selling handmade goods that take them hours to make is going to be different than someone like me selling t-shirts and print on demand. So I'll start off by telling you what I sell in my shop. I do sell, and as you can see what's going on here, I sell t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies mainly, and then I sell custom joggers in the wedding niche. So that just tells you a little bit about me and what I sell. I also have another shop where I sell digital products, and those are digital designs. So think about it as in one shop I sell the physical items, and then in the other shop I sell the designs. So people who want to have shops or just making their own items, they can purchase those designs and then make their own t-shirts, sweatshirts, or hoodies. So that's what I sell. So now you're going to get an idea of where my advice is coming from. Now, some of these things can translate into different niches or industries or types of goods, but I also wanted you to have a focus and know where my advice is coming from because that matters. We're going to look at this like a fact-finding mission. We're trying to figure out why you're not getting sales now. So we're going to think about things like how many listings you have, who you're selling to. So the first thing we're going to start with is figuring out if you're selling something that is going to sell on Etsy. Not everything sells on Etsy. And the quickest way to do that is to research demand, and specifically demand on Etsy. You can do this by using tools like Everbee, or you can go the simple route and just go into the search bar of Etsy and type in keywords. And when I say keywords, words that someone would use to find your item, type in what you would think somebody would type in to find what you sell. So do that. And what you want to do is you want to see what listings pop up. You want to see if any bestsellers pop up. You want to see if any listings pop up that have popular now. You just want to kind of get an idea if people are looking for what you sell on Etsy. Now, for me, it's pretty easy. People go to Etsy to find sweatshirts, t-shirts, and hoodies. No brainer. Now, the harder part is to figure out what type of sweatshirts, t-shirts, and hoodies they're looking for because they aren't all made the same. You can be really niche down. You can be in the fishing niche or the teacher niche or the entrepreneur space. So there are a lot of different ways that you can take t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies. But for the most part, I know that people are coming to Etsy to buy what I sell, and you need to do the same. So go on Etsy, do a search, and see if people are coming there to buy what you're selling. Because if you are selling something that no one comes to Etsy to buy, then your chances of making a sale are already low. So that's the first thing that we're going to investigate. So again, I would use a tool like Everbee. I would go to the Etsy search bar and search for those things and just kind of get an idea of what the competition looks like and what your typical views could be. So let me give you an example for me. I would go in and I would take one of my shirts. Let's say I had a listing that wasn't doing well. I would go and take that shirt. I would go first on Etsy, put it in a search, and see if I type in what I think that shirt is or what someone would type in to find that shirt, if I want to see what pulls up. And then I'm going to look at those listings that pull up and I'm going to see, well, what are they doing? I'm going to use Everbee to give me some insights about that listing. Is it selling? How many monthly sales it has? How long has that listing been on Etsy? Meaning that, was it making sales when it was posted 2 years ago? Or has it been making sales recently because now maybe we're moving into the Halloween season? Or is it an evergreen type of shirt? I want to find out everything I can about that shirt. And I'm really going to look at those bestseller or those popular listings to see what my listing might be missing. And for right now, we're just on seeing if it's going to sell. So If I find some shirts that are like or similar or that will appeal to the same audience as my shirt, okay, one step done. Now I've got to figure out what my listing is missing that these other listings have and see how I can get some views on that listing. The next thing we're going to do is test, test, test. We are not just going to find a shirt, in my case, create a listing for it, meaning add my photos, add my title, add my description, add my tags, post it, and wait. I am going to test this listing. I'm going to test this same shirt with multiple titles, with multiple descriptions, with multiple tabs. I'm even going to test the pictures. And pictures matter because that's the first thing someone sees when they're searching through the Etsy search results. They're going to see that first listing photo. And let's say we're using this shirt as an example, and it comes in this navy blue, it comes in a sand color. This is a comfort color shirt, so pepper is popular. I'm going to see which one of the colors of the shirt is going to pull more views in. So I'm going to post a listing with the pepper shirt as the first listing. I'm going to post it with the navy blue as the first listing. I'm going to post it with red as the first listing because I don't know what's going to stand out against competitors and I want to see what my buyers are drawn to. So I'm going to have this same shirt listed maybe 3 or 4 times. It just depends on the shirt and how I'm feeling about it. Now, what I don't want to do is just go crazy and list it 15 times, and I'm not really sure. I can't really get good test results because I don't know what tags are doing good in this one, what the title is doing good in this one. So I want you to be strategic about your multiple listings, but test, test, test. And then after your listing has been there for 30 days, look at your analytics because those are important. See if you're getting views because that's going to give you a clue onto what things you need to tweak, but you're going to test. So again, test the title. Different titles. Here recently, Etsy put out suggestions on how they want you to do your titles, less than 15 words. You also have people that are telling you need to use all of that real estate and do all the keywords. I want you to test those different things and see which ones are going to work for your items. I want you to make sure you do this right now is go into your shop manager, go into the listings view, and there's a little button that you can toggle on that says stats. It doesn't matter which view you're using, that card view or the list view. You can turn on these stats and you can view your listings and see how many views those listings are getting in the last 30 days. And that's going to be your visual cue every day when you come in to manage your Etsy shop to see if those listings are picking up in views. Because if you don't get views, you can't get sales. So the first thing you're looking for is, are your listings getting views? And to get those views, that's when you're tweaking those titles, those tags, the descriptions, those first photos to make sure when someone comes across your listing, one, that they come across and that they see it, and then when they see it, that they click in. So go ahead and turn those stats on so now you can see what you're working with while you're doing your tests. Okay, so I told you that I'm going to take you with me on my day because I do have a couple of things that I need to do. I need to go and pick up some DTF transfers for some shirts that my girls need to make in the shop today. So I'm already in their space. So let's go and pick up those DTFs and then we'll move on to the next point. And it completely slipped my mind that I do have some packages or some shipments that I do need to take to the UPS store. So we are going to grab these and take these as well. So I can't do this with one hand. So I'm going to get the car packed up and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm all packed up. I was going to go do the DTFs first, but the DTFs are not ready, so we're going to head to the UPS store. But before I pull out, let's talk about the next thing you're going to do, which is a photo audit. What we're doing here is we are looking at all our photos, and we are looking at them to make sure they are bright, they pull attention, and we want to see how they stack up with our competitors. To do that, we're going to go to Etsy. We're going to put in a keyword search, something that somebody would put in to pull up our item. We're going to put that in the search bar in Etsy, and we're going to look at our competitors' photos. We're going to look at the listings that are doing good, and remember, you can use the bestseller tag or popular listing tag, or you can use something like Everbee to figure out which listings are doing well. We don't care about the ones that aren't doing well right now. We're looking at the ones that are doing well, and if it popped up and it's not making sales, it is at least getting views. And right now, that's what we're trying to do. We'll talk about conversions later. We're trying to get views. So let's look at those photos. Let's say if we're talking about t-shirts, are the t-shirts on a model? Are the t-shirts folded? Is it a flat lay? Let's say I make a shirt and it's a minimalist shirt and the words are kind of small. How are they displaying that shirt if it's selling? We want to look at all of those little things about the listings that are doing good. What color is that shirt, that first shirt? And I know, again, I'm sorry, I saw something. And I know, again, I'm talking mainly about shirts because that's what I sell, but you're going to do this with anything that you sell. Let's say if you sell art or you sell blankets or whatever it is that you sell, you're going to compare your photos to your competitors. Are they better? Are they worse? Are people looking for a certain type of listing photo that's pulling them in, and that's why your competitors are doing better? This is what you're trying to do. You're just trying to look for all of the little clues that are going to tell you what buyers are looking for, what's going to make them click into that listing and buy from you. While I'm waiting for the DTFs to get ready, let's talk about conversions versus views. So a view is whenever your listing shows up in the search results. So it shows up in a list of views for a potential buyer to click on your listing and purchase your item. A conversion is when someone actually makes a purchase. So what makes sense, you need to get views first, and then after you get views, your next thing you want to think about is getting those conversions. So we need to figure out whether you're not getting views or whether you're not getting conversions. So to figure this out, you're going to use those analytics again. A little earlier, I told you to turn on those stats. You can turn on those stats, and then in that listing view, you can see for the last 30 days how many views your listings have been getting. You can see it on each one of the listings. Now, another thing you can do is you can go into your analytics for Etsy, and then you can see more detailed information there. Now, let's talk about what to do for each scenario. If you're not getting views, what we're going to start with is your titles and your tags. We need to work on making the algorithm pick up your listing. So to do this, we're going to make sure we have that title with keywords. We're going to have multiple listings with different title variations to see which one the algorithm likes. And we're going to work on those tags. We're going to make sure we fill up all 13 tags and we have relevant keywords in those tags. Our goal here is just to get your listing showing in search results. Now, we may have to look for low competition keywords, and we can do that with Everbee or tools like eRank, but our goal here is to get some views on that listing. Now we're going to work on our listing photos because the photo is the most important thing to get a person to click into our listing so they can see what we have. Now, if we notice that we're getting views, but we're not getting conversions, people are not buying. When it comes to conversions, we're also going to look at our pricing strategy. We're going to make sure that we are competitively priced. We're not going to try to lose money, but we're going to be competitive with our pricing. Now, I'll tell you this. When I put up new listings, I have a pricing strategy where I pretty much break even. I'm not trying to make a profit. What I do is when I first post that listing, I put the listing on sale for maybe about 40 to 45% off because I want it to really stand out in those search results. I want my photo to be amazing. I want that price. I want it to show a sale price, and I want them to not be able to resist clicking on my listing because my photo is competing with all of my competitors. They see that great price. They want to click in and see more. I also, of course, am making sure my listing is highly optimized. I have all of the photo blocks filled. I'm answering every question they could possibly think about when they look at that shirt. So I am eliminating that resistance to buying. So those are the things that you're going to look at when you are thinking about conversions. Another thing to look at when you're seeing that you're getting views but not conversions is your shipping. You want to make sure that you are not overcharging for shipping. I think it was last year Etsy did this whole thing where your shipping price needed to be under a certain amount. I think $4, $3. I can't remember what it was, but it needed to be under a certain amount so it would serve you up in the algorithm. You definitely want to check that. Now for me, I do have the free shipping over 35 turned on. I sell shirts and apparel, so it doesn't really bother me, but you're really going to have to look at what you're selling to see if you can turn that on, because if you're selling something that's really heavy or if it costs a lot to ship, then you might not be able to bury those shipping costs inside of the price of your items, because then it would take it out of the realm of being competitively priced. So you really need to look at that, and that's really going to be based on what you're selling. But if you're in the print on demand space, if you're selling shirts, blankets, things of that nature where you can bury that shipping cost into the price of the item, then I say why not go ahead and turn on that free out over 35 so people can get free shipping. People love free shipping. That is something that will deter somebody from buying from you. Let's say if somebody is looking at two shirts, they're pretty similar, and they see that this other shop has free shipping and I am charging them $4.95, they're pretty much gonna go with the other shop unless I can figure out some other kind of differentiator. But with shirts, I don't even, worry about that. I just go ahead and offer that free shipping. So check your shipping, because that's another thing that will reduce your conversions. But the key takeaway here is you need to know whether your problem is views or conversions, and you're going to do that with your analytics. So if you're not sure how to read those analytics, it's time to study up. It's time to go and look in that area. And if you need help with that, drop a comment, let me know, and I'll do a whole video to show you how to look at your analytics and how to interpret them. Knowing what your analytics is telling you is going to guide your strategy and how to start getting those sales. You are not going to believe the DTS are not ready, but I did get to drop the packages off at UPS, so we'll just continue. We won't let this slow us down, and hopefully we'll grab those DTS by the end of this video. So the next thing I want to talk about is Etsy ads, because that's something that you can use to get more views. But I want to caution you. Make sure your listings are already optimized. Make sure your titles are good, your pictures are good, your descriptions are good. You've answered any question that a buyer might want to know when they're looking at your listing, because you don't want to run ads to a listing that is not optimized. But once you are sure that those listings are good, you can add them to Etsy ads. I recommend that you start small, maybe $5 a day, and see if you can use ads to generate more views on those videos. Your pictures are going to be awesome, and those ads should convert. We're doing this to get you some more sales. Now, I know a lot of people teach you don't need Etsy ads, and you really don't. You don't need them. But what we're trying to do is give these new listings some juice. We want them to get some views so we can get some sales and we can get some reviews. So what I normally do is when I post a new listing, I think I mentioned this earlier, when I post a new listing, I put it on sale and I turn on Etsy ads, because I want it to get all the views that it can. I'm not worrying about making a profit on that listing. I'm worrying about getting it riled up in the algorithm so it can start getting some sales. Almost like getting the ball rolling. So I'm just hoping to break even on it, because I've already discounted it with a sale. Now I'm throwing on extra when I'm paying for ads for it. As long as I can get some sales and I can get some reviews, it's going to be worth it. And then I go and I might still leave it on Etsy ads if that's working really good. I'm looking at my ROI on those ads, but I will take away the sale price or make it not as deep a sale price as 40%, take it back up to 15 or 25, because I run flash sales in my shop all the time. So that's a part of my Etsy strategy as well. Now, speaking of strategy, I also use ChatGPT to help me with my Etsy strategy. If you're like me, and I'm pretty sure you are because you're watching me on YouTube right now, I go on YouTube, I listen to a lot of Etsy YouTubers, and I just want to hear what's going on, what's new. I want to feel like I'm talking to somebody or listening to somebody that's in the trenches with me. And I gather some strategies and I combine their strategies with what I've learned through my research. And I use ChatGPT to help me put all of that together. So I'll usually go to a video, I'll copy the transcript, I'll load that into ChatGPT, and I simply ask it, what can we learn from this video that'll help with my strategy for my shop? And I've loaded a lot of information about my shop, so ChatGPT knows all about it, and it's able to combine that information and then give me some insight on how I might need to tweak my strategy, or if everything's okay, or just some more that I can learn. So that's something you can do as well. Now, if you'd like to know how I do that, I'll do a full video on that. All you have to do is drop a comment and let me know that's something you want to see. I don't want to do the video and you guys aren't really interested, so just let me know. And I'm happy to do that video and show you how you can use chat to help you with your Etsy shop. Now, you watched it this far. I know you are serious about getting your Etsy shop straight, bringing in those sales. I know you might be frustrated, which is why you even clicked on this title, but I don't want you to give up. It is frustrating. I need you to take the emotion out of it, step back, and look at it like this mystery that you are trying to solve. You are trying to figure out the clues to getting sales on Etsy, and you can do it. All you have to do is go through the things that I've talked about in this video, start implementing those, tweaking your shop, and you'll start seeing those sales come in. I also want you to get you an Etsy buddy. It's better to go through something with somebody than by yourself. So go in the comments, introduce yourself, tell us about your shop, and so we can all get to know each other. And then as you go and start implementing these things that we've talked about, come back, drop it in the comments. Let us know what's working, what's not working, even if it's 30 days from now after you've tried some things. And then other Etsy sellers are going to do the same. And then we'll start seeing what everybody's doing and start making some progress. Hold on one second. Okay. One of the many spam calls I get in a day. But we'll start getting together and seeing what's working. But it's much better to work with a group of people when figuring things out. It makes the tough times not so tough because we can lean on each other and we can also high five each other when we start winning, because I know we will. Because think about it, we're moving into Q4 and there are going to be hundreds of thousands of buyers on Etsy looking for what you have to sell. So definitely, this is not the time to give up. This is the time to buckle down, do some things, get your shop ready, and take advantage of some of that Q4 money that's going to come in. But I want to thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing your comments. Again, remember, let me know if you want me to do that ChatGPT strategy video. I'll do that for you. But thanks for watching. I'm going to go see if I can get those DTFs. So they haven't told me my DTFs are ready, but they close at 6, and it is 5:50. So I'm about to pull up. And we're going to see if we can get these today or if I'm going to have an angry customer. So let's see if we can get these DTFs. Hey y'all, I got them. I had to wait about 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Whatever, but we got them. Yay!